Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving right into a truly brilliant philosophy on AI, creativity, and honestly, just how to reclaim your entire week. This comes to us from a creator and marketer named Markel, and we're going to look at how he takes that typical, awful dread of the work week and flips it into a powerful lesson about ownership and adapting to these massive changes we're seeing in the tech landscape.
So you know that feeling, right? You've had a couple of days off, you're finally relaxed, but as the clock ticks toward Monday morning, that familiar, butterfly-inducing anxiety starts creeping in. Markel points out that for a lot of people, this is literally Heart Attack Monday, where the pressure of walking into a 9-to-5 physically weighs on them. But he introduces this incredibly empowering concept, Take Your Heart Back Monday. It's all about intentionally finding your peace of mind and taking absolute control of your creative journey before the week even has a chance to begin.
Section 1. Creating your own sandbox. Moving beyond the daily grind with purposeful AI tools. Now, instead of just stressing out over the weekend, Marco actually spent his time creating these super fun, out-of-the-box projects that perfectly illustrate what true creative ownership looks like. Get this, he built an AI avatar matchmaker. And now, it's not a dating app for humans, it's a program where users create custom AI avatars with totally distinct personalities, and those avatars actually match with other AI avatars. He also built his own Hustleverse AI music player, which is basically a custom radio station platform to host his own music, and he's even produced full collections like the Welcome to the Hustleverse albums. These aren't just little weekend hobbies, you guys. They are foundational assets. He's building his very own environment rather than waiting on third-party tech giants to host his creativity. The big takeaway here is absolutely crucial. Build your own platform. Don't just rent space. Real online marketers build their own sandboxes instead of waiting around for permission to play. Think about it. When you rely completely on massive platforms to distribute your work, you're playing by their rules. And as we know, those rules can change literally overnight. By building your own platforms, like Markel's custom music player, you totally insulate yourself from the chaos of the broader market. Section 2. The mass distribution problem. When powerful AI tools meet bad strategy. 75 million. Yeah, let that number sink in for a second. That is the staggering amount of AI-generated songs that Spotify recently purged from their platform. To put that into perspective, that was roughly a quarter of their entire catalog, just wiped out almost overnight. Crazy, right? And why did this happen? Because of the unchecked, rampant abuse of AI generation tools. This massive purge was the direct result of something called mass distribution abuse. Basically, it's flooding streaming platforms with thousands of low-effort, bot-driven, AI-generated songs, all hoping for a quick and easy payday. Marco highlights that because AI music tools are now as simple as just typing a prompt and hitting submit, people with zero actual marketing skills started generating hundreds of songs a week. They used bots to fake streams, trying to game the algorithm. It was this chaotic, get-rich-quick mentality that just completely diluted the pool for actual hard-working artists. So to combat this spammer behavior, major AI platforms had to step in with some pretty drastic policy changes. Take Suno, for example. They're a leading AI music generator. In their old environment, you could mass generate and download an unlimited number of songs, which just fueled that volume-driven abuse. But under their new policy, Suno introduced a really strict limit of downloading just 20 songs a month. On top of that, they added audio watermarking and fingerprinting to track exactly where the audio came from and combat fraud. They actively had to step up and stop prompt engineers from acting like spammers. Section 3. The pivot to quality. Why new AI limits are a marketer's best friend. I absolutely love the analogy Markel uses here to visualize this shift. Think of the mass distribution mindset like throwing a giant bucket of paint at a wall and just crossing your fingers, hoping it magically covers the room perfectly. It's chaotic, it's messy, and it requires zero skill. But a true marketer, they use skilled, deliberate brushstrokes to professionally and carefully paint that room. When you're limited in how much paint you have, you're basically forced to be purposeful and intentional with every single stroke. Which naturally leads us to a pretty direct question. Is a strict limit of 20 downloaded songs a month actually enough? Like, does this new Suno policy totally destroy the AI creative business model? Well, the answer is a massive, resounding yes. It is absolutely enough, but only if you are building purposeful assets. Welcome to The Explainer.
songs, which just fueled that they added oddly forced to be totally destroy the AI creative business model. Well, the answer is a massive, resounding yes. It is absolutely enough, but only if you are building purposeful assets. Markel explains that 20 high-quality, carefully curated songs are more than enough to act as background tracks for video content or to fuel a highly targeted marketing campaign for months. If you're creating music that genuinely speaks to a specific audience and drives a real message, you definitely don't need 500 tracks a month. You just need a handful of excellent, purposeful assets.
Section 4. The True Marketer Mindset. Foundational Skills over Cheap Tricks.
This right here perfectly cements the core duality of what we're talking about today. On one side, you've got the product user. This is the person who relies entirely on massive platforms like Spotify to do all the heavy lifting because, frankly, they lack actual marketing skills. They want volume over value, which is exactly why they panic when limits are introduced. But on the flip side, we have the real online marketer. This person creates their own platforms, just like Markel's custom music player. They rely on their foundational marketing skills to drive traffic themselves, and they inherently focus on quality over quantity.
Okay, so how do we actually put this into practice? Let's break down a clear, actionable roadmap based on Markel's blueprint. Step 1. Learn foundational marketing skills. You really have to understand how to connect with an audience first. Step 2. Create a curated batch of purposeful AI assets. Don't just mass produce. Carefully craft those 20 allowed downloads. Step 3. Host them on a platform you actually own and control, building your very own sandbox. And finally, Step 4. Market them directly to your specific audience. This is exactly how you build a fun, profitable business without being at the total mercy of some third-party algorithm. Markel really hit the nail on the head when he said, "We're not just creating music to add clutter. We're creating something with meaning and purpose." It's such a powerful reminder for all of us. AI gives us these incredible, almost magical capabilities. But listen, the technology itself isn't the magic. Your mindset is. It's our foundational skills, our originality, and our actual intent that decide whether that AI power just becomes more digital clutter or a truly meaningful asset. Which leaves us with one final, pretty provocative question. Are you going to continue relying on borrowed platforms, just throwing paint at the wall and hoping something sticks? Or will you take your heart back, level up those foundational skills, and build your own purposeful assets? The tools have literally never been more powerful, but the strategy, well, that's entirely up to you. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I really hope this sparks some serious creativity for your own sandbox.
They keep telling you, stay motivated. Watch this. Listen to that. Get inspired. But what happens when the video ends? When the music fades? When nobody's clapping, watching, or waiting for you to win? What moves you then? I used to run on borrowed energy, quotes, speeches, people hyping me, yeah. Felt unstoppable for a moment, then I'd crash, like it was never in me. That's the problem with external fuel. You burn quick, don't last, don't rule. You dependent on a source outside, so when it disappears, so do you. I was chasing feelings, not building fire, waiting to feel ready instead of climbing higher. But readiness ain't a mood you catch, it's a discipline you wire. So I had to ask myself something different. If nobody ever told me keep going, would I answer that honestly? I realized purpose don't scream, it whispers. It ain't in the crowd, it's found in the mirror. It ain't in applause or validation checks. It's in what you do when there's nothing to flex. Yeah. Motivation temporary, purpose permanent. One phase away, the other's inherent. You don't wake up feeling it every day, but purpose don't care how you feel anyway. It moves through you even when you're tired, even when life feel misaligned and wired. It's that quiet push you can't explain. Let's say do it again through the doubt and pain. So I stopped asking how do I feel and started asking what's real, what's mine to build, what's mine to create. That's when I found something stronger than fate. I don't need a reason. I am the reason. I am the reason. I don't need the feeling. I don't need the feeling. I move with meaning. No more waiting. No more waiting. No more chasing. No more chasing. Internal driver. That's what's leading. Yeah. Now I move like it's already decided. No hesitation, no need to be guided. I built a system inside of my soul that don't break down when I'm losing control. External noise don't shake my direction. I learned to operate without the connection. Not disconnected but self-sustained. Energy internal, never drained. I don't need hype, I don't need cheers. I done built this through blood, sweat, tears. Every rep carved into my frame. Now discipline calling me by name. This is what it looked like when purpose drive. You ain't just working, you feel alive. Even in struggle there's something deeper. You not just moving, you moving with meaning. Listen close. Purpose don't shout, it pulls. It don't beg, it demands. And once you feel it, you can't go back. There's gonna be days you don't feel like it. Do it anyway. There's gonna be days you question everything. Keep going anyway. Because the ones who make it ain't the most motivated. They the most committed. To something deeper than motivation. I don't need a reason. Don't need a reason. I am the reason. Am the reason. I don't need the feeling. Don't need the feeling. I move with meaning. Move with meaning. No more waiting. No more waiting. No more chasing. No more chasing. Internal driver. That's what's leading. When the world go quiet, when the noise disappear, when nobody's watching, that's when you find out if you really got it, or if you was just borrowing it. Borrowing it.
You can have the engine, the horsepower, the destination, even the roadmap, and still never move because you're waiting for somebody else to tell you it's safe to drive. That's what fear does in business. It keeps you sitting in the passenger seat of your own life while somebody else chooses the direction. At some point, you have to grab the wheel. And here's the crazy part about AI content. Your UGC avatar doesn't even have to be human. That car you're watching right now, it can become the character, the story, the attention grabber. Stop waiting for permission to create. Comment UGC and I'll send you my AI UGC blueprint so you can start building your own lane.
I give you food for action, don't choke on the truth. This lesson I prepared was made just for you. Feast up, I'll keep serving till the pot run dry. Got enough cooking to feed the whole country, no lie. Too many flavors, you know, I got what you like. Don't start beefing with me, you won't win this fight. If you come in peace, keep your teeth intact. I got a plan to get this cake, come grab a stack. Life could be sweet, if you listen, you'll see. Food for action on a platter, served fresh by me. I'm serving knowledge on plates, got the recipe down. A blend of hustle and wisdom, that's my sound. I'm feeding the masses, no crumbs, full course. But if you bring nothing to the table, find the door, stop. reserved for those ready.
Okay, family, we are live. We are live. And once again, I want to welcome you guys back to another episode of the Hustlers 10-Minute a Day Challenge. Today is Strong 62, day 2, and we are right at 16 minutes into today's challenge. And yes, it's another exciting day. It's another exciting Tuesday. And as we pull back the curtain, you know what we have to do. We have to expose the most valuable document in all of online marketing. Now, I'm going to tell you this. This document, I haven't upgraded it in a while, but I am going to upgrade this document. But let me ask you this question. With the current value of this document listed at $4,997, you actually get access to this document for free. Now, the value is there. I've been extremely generous with this particular document. And I'm going to keep upgrading it, right? I'm going to keep adding more value to it. But my question is this. Have you taken advantage of all of the value that this document has to offer currently? Because there's some things in this document. Of course, we talk about the foundation, we talk about the basis of creating music, but there's things within this document that can absolutely help change your life. Not just your business, but your overall life altogether, if you use it properly. And that's the thing about having something of value. I say this time and time again, but you can't say the right things enough to the right people because sometimes it doesn't click the first time, the second time, the 10th time, or even the 300th plus time that you say it. But this document has some things in it that is very valuable, and it's only valuable to a person that can see value in valuable things. So this journey that we're on, it's a journey of helping you guys get a mindset shift that will allow you to recognize value in every aspect of your life. I don't care what it is. You turn on the TV, you see a news report, you see a story, or if you're just relaxing and you're watching your favorite show, I want you to start looking at your favorite show with a different perspective. Everything is a learning opportunity, and it's an opportunity for you to grow and develop and become that person that you always dreamed you could be, but you just didn't know exactly how to get there. And this document helps you realize that. One of the most important things that you can do in your life in order to ensure your success is to first get one win. First, get one win. Soon as you get that one win, it lets you know that it's possible. It's possible to get more than one win. If you win in one area, something that you've possibly never done before in your life, you just try it and you get a win. That should solidify in your mind that, hey, I can try something else that I've never tried before, and I can get a win in that area too. And the more you build, the more you explore, the more you take advantage of the opportunities, at the end of the day, or at the end of the journey, you'll realize that there's so many things on the list that you are able to check off. So many things that you were able to experience and go through that you would have never been able to experience if you hadn't first gotten that first win. So, is this document magical? No, it doesn't have any, you know, magical elements, but it does, you know? It's all in the mind. And in the mind, you can create all kinds of fantasies, all types of realities, and that's the magical part. The wand in the hand of a wizard is just a wand or a stick. Any person could possibly pick up that wand or that stick and hold it, and they can twirl it around in their hands, and nothing will actually happen. But it's the mindset, it's the power of the mind that allows that wizard to input what it is that's within their mind, the things that they've learned, and to partner with that wand to activate its magical capabilities. See, the magic comes from the wizard themselves, but they're projecting it through the wand. And a lot of times people get stuck in not understanding that they truly are powerful. They're powerful enough to wield any item. They're powerful enough to turn that wand into a, you know, a skincare product that they hold in their hand. And through their mindset and through their training and their learning, they're able to transfer some type of magical energy to that, skincare product. They're able to talk about that product. They're able to infuse some magic into that particular bottle without you ever experiencing that, skincare product yourself. The magic has already started. You're starting to feel like, hey, I possibly might need that. This right here might possibly help me fix a problem that I'm currently facing, and I need that. That's the magical part. And that's what having one win, having one mindset shift can actually do. It can help you unlock the possibility of everything being possible. Now, today, I don't want to keep you guys too long because, of course, knowing that today is Training Day Tuesday, we know that there's going to be a live training later on today at 2 p.m. EST time, hosted by one of my business partners, Mr. Wayne Crow. He's going to give you some mindset switch moments that's going to help you when it comes to building your online business and help you when it comes to the the area of making that product, that service, whatever it is that you have, making it into a profitable business. So I hope you have time to join us there, right? So we have that available. But before I get to the details exactly of what that live is going to be about, I wanted to just take a moment to focus on exactly what we have going on here in the Hustleverse. Now, I've been focused on one particular niche for a little bit, and I want to stay focused on it because I think and I believe that in the future, it's going to be a very powerful niche and industry. It's just getting started. And the foundation of it is what they call UGC. That's user generated content, right? And traditionally, when people talk about UGC, they talk about it from the standpoint of an actual human, you know, talking about their experience with a product or service, holding up that, for example, skincare product and saying, hey, here's the results that I've gotten from this skincare product. If you want to experience this transformation that I've had, possibly, you know, it everything's not 100% for everybody, right? So we don't make any guarantees when it comes to financial income, and we don't make any guarantees when it comes to, you know, physical changes and things like that. So I just want to make that clear. Everybody, has to put in the work no matter what. If you want a financial change in your life, you have to put in the proper work in order to get that financial change. And if you want to get a change in your appearance, then yeah, you can, get that particular, let's say, skincare product. You can use that, but you also need to do the additional work that sometimes they don't tell you about. Yeah, you can rub that skincare product on your face, but if there's something internally going on with you that's causing, whatever problem you have, then you're just putting a cover over a issue. You're just treating a problem instead of curing it. Whereas along with that skincare product, you might also need to drink more water. You might also need to detox. You might also need to, exercise, work out a little bit more, sweat so that you can help, detox your body so that your pores aren't clogged, so that now when you put on that skincare product, you're able to absorb it a lot better. See, there's always more to the story than what somebody tells. But the right person with the right mindset, they can help you see the full picture. So, once again, that's our mission here in the Hustleverse. It's to see something as what it is, and then also dig deeper to see what it can become. So, like I was saying, traditionally, UGC is a human person doing a demonstration, doing an unboxing, telling a story about their experience with a product. But we dig a little bit deeper because we understand that some people, for whatever reasons, everybody has a reason, they either don't want to get on camera and be the UGC avatar themselves, or, they just, you know, have a fear of doing it. And that's okay because the one mindset shift that we have to all have is that there's a person that represents every type of situation. And since there's so many different types of situations that's out there, there's not a lot of people that address all of these situations. And where focus isn't, placed, that's possibly where you can take over and dominate. So if you know that there's 100 different, areas that a person is struggling with, and then a person comes along or people come along and they say, hey, I'm only going to focus on helping people in this particular area. You know, in this industry, we're taught that there's a few different categories that make the most income. And 95 plus percent of people, they want to tell you to focus on the make money from home aspect. Hey, everybody wants to make money from home. Yeah, everybody wants to make money. And then they tell you to focus on strictly that. It's usually a couple of areas. They'll say, hey, the make money from home industry or the health and wellness industry or the beauty industry. Yes, those are great. But of course, with the proper mindset, we understand that even those niches, there's sub niches and even deeper niches within them that people do not touch and that they, either they don't think about or they just aren't willing to focus on. So whether you want to get into those most popular niches, that's up to you. Or you can step completely outside of the box and say, hey, I want to focus on an area that nobody else or just a few people really focus on. And it's an area that a lot of people, they struggle with. They might not want to talk about it out loud and in public, but there is a big audience, and as we call it, a underserved audience that would benefit from having a solution to this particular problem that they're struggling with. So that's one of your challenges. That's one of the things that you have to go through and consider. Now, within the Hustleverse, we added an extra layer once again to our UGC and taking it to the level where for the people that don't want to be on camera or who have a fear of being on camera, now you have the ability to use an AI avatar. And you can use that as your sole UGC character. And that can be the person that holds up the bottle. That can be the person that talks about the product or service. That can be the hero of the story that says everything that you want to say, but you just don't want to get on camera and actually say. And there's a way that you can mix it up. You can have a blend of AI and you can have a blend of human. So that's something we're going to explore going forward also. So make sure that you like, share, subscribe. If you're not in the private group, you know, I want you to join us in the private group. It's exclusive. So we don't let any and everybody in. You have to qualify. And qualifications, there's simple qualifications. You just have to be willing to put in the work. You have to be the type of person that's focused and that wants to actually learn and build in a creative environment. Do something outside of the box, not be part of a cookie cutter system that tells you that you have to stay within the box and that you can't be you and that you can't, experience true freedom. But here in the Hustleverse, we're all about giving you the opportunity to experience true freedom by helping you unlock your fullest potential. But right now, I want to just talk to you about, something I pulled up, another valuable document, right? And this one right here is extremely valuable. It's one of the products and services that I'm offering and that I'm providing as a free lead magnet. And that's only for a limited time. For soon enough, as Fat Joe says, today's prices is not going to be tomorrow's prices. So I'm giving you the opportunity to get access to the Hustleverse Movie Studio UGC blueprint, right? This is one of the sections that's in it. And the value in this one particular section is worth, you know, is worth a lot to the right person. I don't want to put a number on it, but it's worth a lot. And this particular section right here is called the Hustleverse Hype Framework. So it says this is your core operating system as a UGC creator. Every successful video, every pitch, every brand deal you land will run through the Hype Framework. That means, just like we talk about in the Hustlers 10-Minute a Day Challenge doc, there's foundational skills that you need to learn in everything that you do. And of course, you know, in everything that you do, there's foundational skills that you need to learn. So if we're focusing on UGC, there's some frameworks that we have available that will set the pace for you and you can build off of that. So this one is called the Hype Framework, and that's for your UGC. So let's get into what the Hype Framework is. So H is for hook it. So within the first 3 seconds, you have to have a strong hook. You have 3 seconds, it says, to stop the scroll. Your hook is the single most important element of any UGC video. A great hook creates instant curiosity, shock, or relatability. Without a strong hook, nothing else matters. Now, just like I stated before, valuable information is only valuable to a person that can identify value. Even though we're speaking specifically about UGC, this right here alone can be applied to any type of content that you're creating. And this can make a major difference in a person going from, having just 10 views to having 1,000 views or 10,000 or even more views on any given video. And of course, that can snowball into other opportunities. That can snowball into you getting monetized just from views, whether it's on social media, whether it's on your YouTube channel or wherever. It can snowball. And that can lead to, those financial wins, right? So this alone right here is one of those major keys that can be applied to just about any type of content creation you are doing. And that alone, once again, could lead you to a major win. Now we go over to the why. You first, storytelling. So you first storytelling. What does that mean? Lead with your personal experience. So I was skeptical at first. I've tried everything and nothing worked until. Of course, let me put some spaces up in here. Sometimes with the formatting of the document, sometimes, things get a little jumbled up. But everything and nothing worked until. So this right here is authentic, believable, and converts. People buy from people. I've had a conversation in one of the recent masterminds I was on, and that's one of the statements that I made, that people buy from people. It's like everybody can sell the same product or service, but we know for a fact that most people, depending on the source, where the information is coming from, they may or may not buy. They may intentionally choose to ignore what it is that's being shared because they're like, okay, either I don't like this person or, I'm a big fan of this person, so I trust their word. And they will make a buying decision based on that particular, scenario. Now, the person that they don't like could have the best product on earth, but just because they don't like that person, they'll miss out on an opportunity to get something that is of absolute value to them. So it's on you to always lead with your personal experience. Let people know. And once when you lead with your personal experience, this right here, this why right here, this why is very powerful once again, because this leads you down a whole other road, other journey. So are you a likable type of person? Are you a soft spoken type of person? Are you a loud and rowdy type of person? Who is your audience that you're attracting? Are you attracting people that, are calm, or you like you attract people that, like you to be, raw and uncut? So your personality first, how you are and how people engage with you and how they connect with you will allow you to be able to convert them with your story. See, your personality at that point becomes you, the wizard, as I mentioned in the beginning, right? So the personality is like the wizard. And then the story that you tell, your personal experience, is that wand that you're waving in your hand. The wand becomes the story. But you, the wizard, that's the personality. People are attracted to that. That's where the magic is. Because anybody can tell a story, anybody can have an experience, but is the audience willing to listen to your particular story? So I want you to keep that in mind. Then we go on to the P, prove it. So show the product working, demonstrate the transformation, let the results speak. This is where you use B-roll, close-ups, or before and after visuals. Show, don't just tell. All right. So people want to see the transformation. And we talk about this in online marketing with various things, not just the video, not just, the UGC generated content, but even in the long presentations that you watch. You sit through a presentation for an hour, 2 hours, or even 3 hours. They're going through a process, they're going through a system. Usually, they don't even show the product until the end of the presentation, the last, let's say, half an hour or so. But the first hour and a half is just the buildup. They're talking about the possible transformation, they're talking about the possible results. They're showing their B-roll or their presentation slides. They're showing the close-ups of these people that possibly they've helped get results, and showing their smiling faces, or showing an example of a uh, recent win. you know, something that they've earned. So they're doing all these things even in those type of presentations, and that's very profitable. Most of these online marketers, most of their income is generated through the use of presentations. And their presentations have a particular format, right? So keep that in mind. That's why this is so valuable right here. Then we move on to the E, earn the click. So the final 5 seconds. Drive action with a clear, natural CTA. You can grab yours using the link in bio. They're running a limited sale right now. I'll leave the link below. Make it feel conversational, never salesy. So, once again, there's a format, and usually the last 5 seconds of a UGC style video, or the last, once again, 15, 30 minutes of a presentation, that's when the CTA starts to kick in. But when it comes to UGC content, is mainly short form content. Your content may be anywhere from, let's say, 15, 30 seconds, 45 seconds to a minute. And you have that amount of time to convey all of these little tidbits, all of these mindset triggers that's going to help give your viewer a perspective on whether or not you're speaking to them, whether or not this personality matches your personality, whether or not you've proven to them that the product works, and whether or not they, should click on the link that you provided. Or your CTA might be, hey, comment below, comment a specific phrase so that I can send you the link, right? So that's what we do here in online marketing. We preferably want people to comment so that they can get the link. And the reason why is for a few different reasons, right? Most for let's say focusing on social media platforms. Most social media platforms, and I'm just going to speak specifically about, let's say, Facebook, they don't like you to put a link in your particular content. Or even, you can do it somewhat in the comment section, but they generally want your content to be more conversational, never salesy, because the algorithm is intelligent and the social media platforms, they're smart. There's some things that you can do as an individual that could possibly lead to you earning an income. That's great for you. But if a social media platform allows you to be able to do this so easily, then it makes it harder for that social media platform to make money because they're trying to get you to pay for ads. Now, in the ads, when you're paying for ads, it's cool. You can put the links wherever. There's a button that says, hey, click the link. There's, you know, things that the social media platform wants you to use at that point so that it makes it easier for you to get the sale. But they only do it because it's beneficial to them. But now, if you go about it yourself and you creating content and you're putting the link in your description, or if you're putting a link in your comment section, it's kind of like you're trying to bypass that barrier that they have in place for them to earn. So you might find that your content gets suppressed because the algorithm is watching and like, oh, okay, so you think you could get away with not paying us. You think you're gonna, make money and not have to give us a piece, right? No, we not gonna allow that. So everybody has a format. Everybody has a thing that they have in place that allows them to win. So most experienced online marketers, they'll have a CTA that'll say, hey, comment below and I'll send you the link directly to your DM. Hey, I'll share it with you there and you can get access. And it also leaves a layer of mystery. It makes it so that there's a barrier. It makes it exclusive. Everybody's not going to be able to clamor for that link. If everybody sees that link, it's kind of like having a store in the middle of your neighborhood. You come outside every day and you see that store, and after a while, it just becomes an average store. You don't even want to shop there anymore. Now you go across town, you see this new store pop up that is kind of, far off, and you don't see that on a daily basis. Then you might want to stop in that store and say, hey, I'm going to check this store out. And you go back home, and the local store might have something similar to what that newfound store has, but since it's so out of reach, since it's so far away, since it takes a little effort to get to it, you're like, this store that's local to me, yeah, it has similar stuff, but I could go here anytime. I could go here anytime. Let me just take a trip just to see what this other store has. They might have something even more exclusive. It leaves that door open for you to add that layer of curiosity, exclusivity, as they say, right? So let's get to this. It says hype in action, example video breakdown. So this right here is going to tell you about product, a vitamin supplement brand. So let's say, for example, the hype framework. This is a live example. So in the first 3 seconds, the hook. I genuinely didn't believe this would work, but here we are on day 14. So in that hook right there, it gave the feeling in the sense of not believing that it was possible. And you, as a consumer, that's probably the first thing that you always think about. This is impossible. I can't do this. I can't get this win. This transformation is not going to happen for me. And you're looking for something that's going to change your mindset about it. You're looking for something that will actually work. And this 1 3 second hook speaks directly to your fear. It restates your fear, first and foremost. I genuinely didn't believe this would work. That's your thought. That's the conversation that's going on in your mind. And they've just activated it. They just spoke to you. They just spoke your language. And then now here's the transformation. But here we are on day 14. What happened on day 14? Now I got to know, because I didn't believe that I can get this transformation. But obviously, this person, something happened to them on day 14. And I need to know, because now I'm thinking it might be possible. And it might just take 14 days. Do I have 14 days? Can I wait 14 days? Well, I've been taking all of this time so long trying to get results. It's been weeks, it's been months, it's been years, and I didn't get the results that I wanted. But this person found some results in 14 days. I need to know what it is. So you first says, I've struggled with low energy for years. Okay, person struggled for years, right? Now, this is you speaking again. This is your conversation that you've been having with yourself. This is your struggle. You've been struggling with low energy for years also. Okay. I work a full-time job. No, you work a full-time job. This is something that you've been struggling with for a long time. You work a full-time job. So he's speaking to you. Have 2 kids. Well, damn, yeah, I got 1 kid. struggling just with that one. But this person has 2 kids. Man, I know their struggle is even worse than mine. Their struggle, they have 2 kids and I only have one. And they were still able to get some type of result in 14 days, working with low energy, full-time job, 2 kids. So they're in a worse position than me. So I see myself in it, but now I see somebody that's been in a worse situation, and now it triggers within a person. If they can do it with all of their challenges, with all of their problems, then I know I should be able to do it. This should be an easier win for me than it was for them. Check out the psychology. This is where mindset comes into place. Now, this wasn't my intention to go into a full deep dive training on this, but this right here is so valuable. It's so valuable that it deserves some time. And it says, and by 3 p.m., I'm running on fumes. Okay, 3 p.m. Look at the time. We talk about you know, Monday, take your heart back Monday, as what was explained in that intro video. Most people, they start their work week, and either if they work a 9 to 5, that first day back seems like it's such a long day. They're struggling. They're going through, trying to get back into the groove. They've had 2 days off. Then, you might get to take a break um, around 12:30. You got your lunch break. So around 3 o'clock, you're like, okay, it's almost time for my last 15-minute break is coming. I'm running on fumes. And by 5 o'clock, I'm gonna be out of here. But we know how that last hour to 2 hours go. It seems like that drags on forever, depending on what you're doing. So this right here is talking about you once again. By 3 p.m., I'm running on fumes. Yeah, that's you. Says a friend told me about whatever the brand is. And I figured, why not try it? How many times has a friend told you about something and you said, hey, I'm gonna try it? And then you try it and you like it. So now that's back to you again. It's adding a layer of connection for you. You've talked to people, they've recommended different foods, different movies, and you can relate. You can relate to somebody giving you some helpful information, a friend telling you something. So if a friend ever told you something and it worked out, now you're reading this and you hear from this person and they're saying that a friend told them about this specific product and it worked. So that's not magic. That's something that you can actually relate to also. You've known of a friend that given you advice and it worked. So it's not too hard to see that for this person, the same thing happened. Now, prove it. 15 to 25 seconds. Show the bottle. Show before, after, energy level. Show yourself looking energized at your desk. Now, your AI UGC avatar, they can do that perfectly. If you use the format and you understand the format, then you should know, looking at this part, if we're going to show a transformation, then we have to understand what the beginning needs to look like. If at this point, your AI avatar is looking energized at their desk, then hey, if you had any questions about how to start the beginning, then you should know now that in the beginning, that AI UGC avatar should look tired, run down, beat down, you know, feeling like, it's 3 p.m., I'm running on fumes. They should have that tired look to them so that the transformation is extremely clear by the end of that 30-second video. So then now it's time to earn the click because you almost got your target audience there. They see themselves, they realize that this can happen. They see themselves in the journey. They see themselves in walking through the process of getting the information. They see themselves, you know, I got 14 days. You know, 14 days isn't a lot of time. This might actually be the thing for me. But now you have to earn the click. So the last 5 seconds, it's not magic, but it's the closest thing I've found. The link is literally in my bio right now. So it's the realization. See, some people try to make things seem so magical. Have you ever been on an online train and the person says, this is so easy? It's, simple as one, two, three, and for the majority of people, we understand that nothing really is that easy. So me personally, when I hear stuff like that, it turns me off because I'm like, okay, if you're telling me that as simple as one, two, three, that means that one, two, and three each has probably 10 steps of their own. So one, two, three turns into possibly 30 different things that I have to do and that I'm going to have to learn. So when it comes to earning the click, this is where you have to be transparent. This is where you get to be fully transparent and you become human and you start to, you know, speak to the mindset, speak to that internal person within your viewer because they've heard it all. They've heard people talk about how things are so simple, easy, and how they make it seem like it's a snap of a finger and the results are gonna come. But now you've just made it clear that you personally, you're not the type of person that believes in magic. It's not magic, but it's the closest thing I've found. So you let them know that, it's a statement that says that, hey, I didn't have supernatural, magical expectations of it. It's not 100% perfect because, most people will try to sell you something and they'll say it's perfect. This is the best thing since sliced bread. But this person says, no, nah, this sliced bread, it's good. It's good, but it's not crustless or whatever, right? The crust, it still got crust on it, right? It's not magic, but it's the closest thing I've found. Meaning, you know, it could be something else out there that's better, but I've tried a lot of stuff and those things did not work. But this right here is the closest thing I've found. I've been looking and I found this and it works. It it does what it's supposed to do. And now you can have access to it. The link is literally in my bio right now. That right there is what we call the hype framework. And if you can master that hype framework, then you can apply it to just about any and everything that you do. Whether it's a UGC short 30-second video with your AI avatar, or maybe knowing and learning this hype framework will help give you more confidence to actually get on camera and use it yourself. Maybe it might help you to say, hey, I'm going to turn this 30 seconds and I'm going to expand it out. I'm going to get into the realm of, what they call high ticket sales, for example. And we know that high ticket sales are primarily made in presentations. So we're looking at this 30-second breakdown and we say, okay, instead of 30 seconds, we're going to find a way to expand this out to 30 minutes. So we're going to hook people in the first 0 to 3 minutes. We're going to talk about ourselves first, then the first 4 to 15 minutes. And let me ask you this. When was the last time you've been on a presentation and it seems as though this exact format is what they are kind of following? They spend so much time talking about themselves. I used to be here, I used to be there. And you're like saying to yourself, man, well, I came here to learn about the product and the service and, how it can get to the transformation. You're waiting for the last 15 to 30 minutes. You're waiting for that last little portion where you get to see the bottle, see the before and after, and you're missing this part here. You're wanting them to bypass this part here. But it's what builds up and leads to the most important part, which is earning the click. And, you know, for the majority of people, the way things go, the way people's mindsets are, they require this framework in order to get to this point, in order to make this last 5 seconds or 5 minutes worth it. Or, in a lot of cases, you're watching a 2-hour webinar. So you just multiply all of these by 4. So the last 20 minutes, they're talking, they're trying to earn the click from you. The first 12 minutes, they're trying to hook you in. And then the hour, first hour, they're talking about them. Them and, possibly the students that they've helped, the results that they've shown people, and then, prove it. All of the results, the befores and afters. So you're watching all this stuff. They're talking about all this stuff. This is the framework. And that's why this one section alone right here is so valuable. Valuable to the right person with the right mindset. So if you actually want access to this particular document, for a limited time, I'm giving you access to this document for free. All you have to do is comment UGC. And you know something? I might just put this on my landing page itself. This right here is such a valuable training that I just gave you that hopefully you see the value in it. The right person will be able to use this to create a massive, successful business. Just this one section alone. You might be that person. So comment UGC if you want access to it. And of course, I'm throwing in a couple of additional, another bonus. See, the thing about me is I believe that once when you experience the value, the difference that the Hustleverse presents, then you'll say, okay, I want to see what else they got. I want to be a part of this amazing opportunity to partner with this individual that was able to give me such valuable information. I want to know how I can go a little bit deeper and get even more results. What else? What else is to the information that he has stored within his particular mind? There's a lot up here in my head, and I'm giving you guys just a little trickle of it at a time. So if you're interested, I'll give you a couple of pieces that you can, say, hey, this might be something worth it. I'm giving you the hook. Speak about my personal struggles, the personal things that I've been through, my journey. You've heard about various things. I've proven to you that, I don't make any income claims. But the one thing that I do stand on is the fact that, I've been consistent, and the things that have gotten me to be consistent, I tell you about, right? So that you can in turn be consistent. And of course, your consistency can lead you to other wins. Once when you get that consistency win, like I stated before, that first win, then you can say, hey, now let me use that win and apply it to something else. Let me get another win. And that's what we're all about. So with that, I hope you have enjoyed today's live. And I'm just going to take 1 second, as I stated. I wanted to just share with you the information about today's live training that's coming up. Now, depending on if you joined us on Saturday's live, if you weren't here, it was a great live. It was a great training. And I want to encourage you to watch today's live. Well, today's training. It's going to be an encore. And it's about how total beginners are pocketing $1,000, $1,000 days with faceless AI videos, even if you've never made a penny online and refuse to show your face. Now, this right here, I want to definitely encourage you to watch, because me, myself, I probably will watch it again, just because it's speaking specifically about what we just went over and what I've been focused on for the last couple of months. It just so happens that this training was created after. So it was just, presented on Saturday. And I'm looking at it and I'm saying to myself, damn, this speaks directly to me and what I'm doing. And the product and the service that they were actually promoting at the end, it said to me, man, it motivated me, and it inspired me, because I said to myself at the end, I'm undervaluing myself. I'm giving my community so much value. It made me feel good and it made me feel bad at the same time, because I'm like, this document shouldn't be free. This document should be at least 197 or 297. It had me saying that to myself, but it made me feel good, because I realized that the information that I have and the things that I teach and the things that I've, focused on is valuable, is of value, and that it's worth more than what I'm promoting it as. And it makes me feel good that I know that I'm giving people above and beyond value that they won't find anywhere else. So I can smile about that. So if you see me charge something like 497, 997 for something, meaning $997 for something, then you know for a fact it's worth it. That it's worth at least 100,000, right? Because I seen what they say is worth whatever, and I'm like, nah, that ain't it. So I'm not going to get too petty. I'm not going to get petty, but you're able to attend this live, see what others are doing and what they're promoting in order to get their wins, and say to yourself, hey, man, I have the opportunity to be inside the hustleverse, and I have the opportunity to learn and take part in something that's, similar to this. And I ain't got to invest all that. My investment to be able to do something similar is way less than that. Then maybe, hopefully, you should, you know, appreciate the value that we have here inside the hustleverse. So that's my personal selfish goal in having you, check out the training. So just to read this small little part right here, it says, discover the hidden AI video method quietly creating $1,000 days for ordinary people. No camera, no filming, no ads, no experience. If you can send a text, you can do this. Join Wayne and his special guest live, and that'll be today. at 2 p.m. EST time, and that's a matter of 3 hours and 48 minutes away. So once when you see it, then hopefully the stuff that I tell you, it starts to make a little bit more sense. And just like Birdman said years ago, and it'll never get old, maybe at that point you'll put some respect on my name, right? And I ain't got to tell you, I don't have to brag or boast about myself, but you'll let other people show you what it is, and then you'll come back and you'll have an understanding of how you should feel and what you should be doing. So with that, once again, I hope you guys have enjoyed today's live. We're going to close out like we always do, and I look forward to seeing you in the next live. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your day.
Woke up to silence, dreams still heavy. Phone screen dry, but my vision stays steady. Mama said, baby, that job ain't your lane. But I clocked in anyway, chasing someone else's gain. That got me dancing with denial at night. Scrolling for hope, but it's hidden from sight. 10 minutes a day, sounded small at first, but in silence, even whispers can quench a thirst. Notebook in hand, wrote my future in ink. Mapped out my mission before I started to sink. Every post was a prayer, every share had weight. I wasn't selling a link, I was shifting fate. I found my rhythm in the quietest place, where hustle meant healing and grind meant grace. From the corner of doubt, I carved my space. Legacy ain't loud, but it wins the race. 10 minutes a day, brick by brick, built from the bottom, now the vision stick. No hype, no cap, just clarity. This ain't just income, it's legacy. Every click, every song I create etches my name where they can't erase. You can doubt, but you gon' see. 10 minutes a day turned into legacy. People laugh, said she doing too much. Till my PayPal pinged, then they changed up the touch. No big brand, no six-figure crew, just a mic, some lyrics, and a dream that grew. Tired of waiting for the gatekeeper's call, so I built my own stage, held my own hall. Suno on deck, that's the beat in my chest. GPT spitting like I'm born to impress. Said I'd never make it, cool, noted. But now my bars turn pain into coated. From broken to branded, I ain't asked for fame, I asked for freedom and I claim my name now. Hustle berry on loop like healing chance, for the girls who grew up with limited chance. This is more than a challenge, it's breaking the chain. Cause 10 minutes a day rewired my brain. 10 minutes a day, brick by brick, built from the bottom, now the vision stick. No hype, no cap, just clarity. This ain't just income, it's legacy. Every click, every song I create etches my name where they can't erase. You can doubt, but you gon' see. 10 minutes a day turned into legacy. Now my daughter sees me different, eyes full of fire. She said, Ma, your words lift me higher. This ain't a hustle, this a heart-led path, where math meets message and message meets math. Community over clicks, value over hype. I ain't here to trend, I'm here to type blueprints for the ones still stuck in fear. Let them borrow my belief till their purpose clear. Haters still quiet, but I'm loud with grace. Posting in peace, not a mask on my face. Every bar